There is so much information out there for you to get hands on that it's unbelievable. And that goes for the e-commerce, that goes for the marketing side of things, that goes for usability, testing, research, everything you could think of. Right? Of course, in fact, there's too much information. And then that's why we will start and try if we can kind of group those kind of publications into one place. And that's why we will try to use the module hashtag, which is this one here. Pretty much defined what e-commerce is, but it's a process of buying and selling products and services online via network. A network could be an e-commerce platform, it could be a website that you build yourself, or it's pretty much a technology that enables you to do what? To build those transactions, to accept a payment, and of course make a delivery and things like that. So that's why this is pretty much the way how we define e-commerce and why we do it. So these are the terms that normally are identified in the reading material that you'll find. So don't get confused when you see that, because pretty much all of these just mean e-commerce, what we just discussed so far. Okay? Now, why e-commerce is so important, why we spend so much time, and why it's also part of your course, why doing it. Okay, you mentioned several keywords in there. The reason is because it's changing the way we shop and the way we process goods and services online. So now, as you're sitting there, you're listening to me, you could just pick up your mobile phone and purchase your next flight ticket. You can purchase your next, jacket for the winter because you just found something really nice. And it takes what? If it's got a very good presence for the mobile, that specific business, it could take up to, 2-3 minutes and it's all over. All you have to do is pick up a size, sign in with your username details, buy, it's a done deal. It gets delivered to your address. Okay? And you can see how smooth these processes being now with the business. And it's pretty much, that's why it's changing everything. Now, everything that you could buy using an e-commerce website, you would not go into the store, is that correct? Everything you can buy through an e-commerce site, that means that you will not go in the store. Now, some times ago, people would argue, how can I ever think of buying, jackets, shoes? How can you buy shoes on an e-commerce site? Because you want to go and you want to try them, you want to touch them, you want to see how they feel, and the material and everything else. But you can see that that's changing, right? And if you think about your own buying journey in the last 5 years, that have changed a lot. Okay, in the past you said, I would never buy my, my next jacket online because I want to go and try it. But now, because life gets busier, you get to do a lot more, you've got a lot going on, you've got all your modules, you've got all your activities, your research, maybe some of you might even have part-time jobs and things like that. Life gets so busy, and so e-commerce is coming in as an opportunity for you to deal with the things that you want to deal, okay? And you can see now why this is changing. Something also that is really affecting e-commerce big time are what? What is e-commerce? What is affecting the growth of e-commerce the most recently? Sorry? Technology. I've got something in my hand. Mobile, tablets. You can see that these are really changing everything. It's not just changing social media, because we're on Facebook and everywhere else using our mobile phone. It's also changing the way we engage with brands. And so you can see why these new emerging technologies are reshaping everything. And until now, being on e-commerce or being on social media was almost like a choice. You could decide just not to be there. But now, whether you're in business or not, you can't afford not to be there. Because you're missing out on what's happening. Okay, you're missing out what's happening in your industry, on your interest and expertise that you want to learn more about. So, However, let's look at some numbers, right? Numbers always are very important. And as soon as you start hearing someone talking about any specific industry, they mention numbers and they put big graphs and everything. I'm not going to go into too much details because numbers are super high, but let's just look at some of them, okay? Now, according to research, in UK alone, sales for this year are going to possibly reach 87 billion for this year using e-commerce site. So that's just a sale for the UK. Now you can imagine how much is that? Can you imagine now that Amazon doesn't even have a real store and is the most powerful business you can think of? Think about Google. Think about Facebook. I mean, it's a virtual business. Yeah, of course, they might have some offices somewhere around Europe, like just headquarters or something, but it's not a place where you can go and just access it anytime you want. Let's look at global expected sales for 2013. That's around 315 billion. Billion with a B. That's huge. And so these are just some other, the numbers are extraordinary when you look at e-commerce. Same as social media, same as mobile. However, I just thought I would share with you just these two key numbers, but you will read a lot more online. Okay? And so, whether you are there as a buyer or whether you're there online as a seller, it's absolutely essential that you understand what matters when it comes to an e-commerce site. But I think as a buyer, you tend to take for granted all these new features and things in an e-commerce site, right? The idea of tracking products, the idea of subscribing for the products, the idea of having monthly kind of offers that you choose to get from the business. You take those things for granted, but technically, to build them and to manage them is quite extraordinary, it's quite complex process as well. But only when you look at things from a business perspective, that's when you think and you start to get an idea of why this matters so much. And it's absolutely essential to understand some of these processes, because when you do, whether you're going to be running your own business or working for someone, sooner or later, that business will have some sort of transaction based online. Next. These are just few more important data that I thought I would share with you. We already talked about some of the things. However, one that is always with us is, for instance, the mobile search. Okay, but of course there are so many other things we do using our mobile phones. In fact, our mobile phones are becoming so important to us that how many times you sleep and it's just next to your bed or in your bed, the mobile phone. And you leave your house, you always forget your wallet, but you never forget your mobile phone. You forget your keys, I do, but I never forget my mobile phone. Okay? And you see, this technology is with us 24/7. And that's why you have companies doing everything they can to do what? To offer you services, offer you content, so then you engage with their platforms as much as possible, and the next thing they'll do, they'll give you special offers and special deals for you to actually buy from them. Even the coolest technology today, like an iPhone 5 or 5S or whatever, or Galaxy S3, whatever mobile phone, it will be worthless unless there was a system that feeds you with information wherever you go. It wouldn't mean anything. But because of Amazon platform, eBay, Apple, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all these big businesses, the mobile phones, whether it's a new or any smartphone, has a lot more sense. Otherwise, it'd be useless. And that's why now what happens, you have companies doing everything they can to provide content and information that is relevant to you. Now, there are so many things we do. Of course, the research shows something that is quite extraordinary. More than 55% of the searches are done while we watch TV using a mobile phone. And those searches can be about problems we have, can be about information we need, or can be about product we've seen on the TV and we want to know what's the price. Or we want to find the best, cheapest price for that product. Where you go, eBay. If you're going to get the cheapest price ever, you're always going to go for eBay. And you might end up paying a lot more than you thought you would. Of course, sales forecasts for 2013 and using a mobile phone are expected to be around 6 billion. And you can see this is huge. It's growing extraordinarily fast. Now, we do more than 33% of mobile banking using a mobile phone. And this is also another reason, these are some of the key reasons, and also the trend, that we've also designed a mobile business module. And that runs in the second year. Level 6? The mobile business level 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we run that new module just because we want to bring students up to date with what's happening. We want you to be prepared when you go outside in the industry. You're very strong with theoretical background and everything you've done and the models you've studied at the business school, but also on the technology side. And you're a lot more technical, you're a lot more hands-on things. Because that's what employers are looking for. And trust me, they pick up based on that. And it's important to consider that. Okay, now, we talked about social media. Social media is big. Well, why that it matters? Why that's so important? You see, these are some of the keywords when it comes to social media. First one is the huge amount of people out there. We're talking 1.1 billion just in Facebook alone. Look about Twitter, look about YouTube, Google+, Pinterest, all these new social networking platforms. They're absolutely huge. Now, the next big thing is what? Is the information we can have about our own customers that otherwise we couldn't. You know, running the surveys and things like that for the businesses is very expensive. But social media is free. Not like free to find out more about customers, not free to run it. So don't ever make a mistake to think social media is free. Well, free are platforms to use. But to be able to succeed in social media, you've got to invest time and money. Time is money, right? You've got to be looking after these presence in social media channels, right? The other thing is that for the first time ever, thanks to mobile and social media, what are we getting about customers? What is that we getting about the profile of customers? We're getting a complete picture, right? Until now, thanks to Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social media channels, we know quite a lot about our customers. Where do they live? Who do they spend time with? What do they like? Movies they like? Fashion they like? Places they go? Shops they visit? Coffee places? Restaurants? Where do they eat? Everything else. But mobile has added one more thing. And that is location, location, location. Using a GPS-enabled feature in the mobile phones has helped us to what? Get a clear 100% picture profile about our customers. We never had that before, right? And you can see now why that is so important. Because until now you knew everything, but you didn't know where that customer was at the specific time of the day. So even though you could tailor different advertising of campaigns and offers for those specific customers, you couldn't get it totally right, but now you can. Simply because now you know everything else and the location. So when you design ads for your marketing campaign, what happens? You're getting a clear picture about that specific customer or that group of customers. So then when you design those ads, when you design those marketing materials, you're not wasting time and money. Because chances are that you'll get a quite greater, higher of return in your investment. You see now why this matters. And if you were, doesn't matter how big company you are, if you were to find all this information on your own. But with social, things are changing. We get closer to having more realistic information. That's not 100% in social either. You're still going to have people having social profiles that are not a true representation of who they are. Seeing how the role of marketing is in e-commerce side now, it doesn't matter how important your website is for you and how awesome products you've got. If nobody knows about them, what's the point? Okay, that's why marketing comes in. That's why we need to make sure we understand fully which are those marketing channels we can use for our business. And we'll talk about a bit about pay-per-click. Somebody mentioned PPC. We're going to look at social media and some of these relevant channels and see how we can do that, how we can tell the world we exist. That's why marketing is important. Customer journeys, we really need to know what happens when somebody, even before somebody lands into the website. How do they get to us? Which door are they using to come into the website? Okay? Same as in our houses, we've got sometimes 2, 3 doors, right? In the website, we've got many doors, you know? And people come from different places. We need to know where they're coming from. And are those places suitable? Are those places okay for them to come in? Are those helpful? If it's coming from a customer support or a contact us page or a landing page or whatever, all these places optimized in the way that when somebody comes into our house, they're not going to break their leg or something. But it's fine, it's okay, they can come in and they'll be fine. And then they'll join us in the main dining room.